Welcome back to Logan Rando Aquascaping. My name is Logan, and today I'm the most excited I've been in a really long time for a new build. As you can see behind me, I've got all the equipment set up for my new escape. This is a UNS 60U build, and I'm using all sorts of high-tech, beautiful equipment that is ultimately gonna culminate in what I believe to be my dream tank. So this is part one of the build, where we're gonna cover some of the equipment that I'm using. Part 2 and 3 will cover the planting and the hardscape, so stay tuned for those. And before we get into each piece, I have to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. That's Boost Plant. They helped me out with a lot of the equipment you see here today. So if you like anything you see in the video, go ahead and check the links in the description or head on over to boostplant.com for yourself. Let's start with the stand. So this is the beautiful UNS stand in piano black. It's perfectly fit for the UNS 60U, and I've been waiting to get my hands on this stand for a really long time. So on top of just being really well made, looking beautiful, and feeling like really nice build quality, I love that it is made with the Aquascaper in mind. It has accessory slots on the left and right that are absolutely made for running tubing from your canister filter to the tank, as well as CO2 line. And the other thing that is such an amazing quality of life feature is the fact that the back of the stand is completely open, so it makes wiring electrical really easy and fitting in equipment. So I am so in love with the stand, and it just looks absolutely amazing with the glass standing on it. Speaking of which, the glass I'm using, if you're not familiar, is the UNS 60U. This is about a 20-gallon aquarium, about 60 centimeters of width. And the thing I like about these tanks over other manufacturers is there's some increased depth. So you've got some extra real estate to work with, and depth, in my opinion, is so important to creating an impactful aquascape. Now let's talk about the lighting and the suspension kit. So the first time in my career as an aquascaper, I am going with suspended lighting. I'm so excited to be using this, number one, because it just makes aquascaping so much easier and maintenance so much easier when you're not bumping into the lighting and needing to shift the lighting forward into the back when you're trimming. Number two, it just looks super sleek. I think it really completes that whole gallery look and puts more emphasis on the scape itself. And number three, it opens up that vertical real estate. So if I want to do emergent growth or hardscape popping onto the tank, there's so much room for activities. And in order to suspend the light itself, I'm using 2 of the UNS Light hanging bars. There's also a Pro version, which appears to be more recent, but I decided to opt for this one. I just like the way it looks, and instead of attaching to the stand itself, it attaches to the glass. And the reason I'm loving it is it's super sleek. The build quality is off the chain. It's like a brushed stainless steel, so it feels like it's industrial quality, and it just looks absolutely amazing in my space. It was so easy to set up. I usually tend to struggle a little bit, to be honest, when it comes to things with lots of little pieces, but I could have done this without even looking at the directions, and I love the really subtle branding that's on there. So I'm just kind of geeking out on this thing. And then the light that it is suspending is one of my favorite lights on the market. It is the TWINSTAR SP. The S stands for the S line. That's TWINSTAR's highest par, highest caliber, highest quality lighting on the market. And the P stands for the pendant style, which is the type of light you want if you want to suspend it. So that was super easy to attach. The light itself comes with the suspension wire, and it was just really easy to feed into the UNS Light hanging kit and hide all the cables and stuff. So anytime I can get equipment out of the picture and make it look more sleek and put more emphasis on the aquascape, that's a massive win in my book. In addition to being a really high performing light, one of the reasons I like the version 3 TWINSTAR SP is because it has a lot less magenta than its predecessors. One of the sort of common complaints that aquascapers had about previous TWINSTAR lines was that it had a very strong magenta tint. This one has more of a red vibe to it, and I would say the colors are more neutral than its predecessors. Not to mention, plants take up primarily red and blue, so having nice red spikes and nice blue spikes are really going to be good for your plants. And I'm happy to say that this S-Line version 3 can pretty much grow any plant that you throw at it. So sky is going to be the limit in terms of what I plant in this tank. So what are my plans for CO2? Well, I plan on running inline CO2 with the CANV inline CO2 diffuser. And in order to regulate the pressure, I'm using the beautiful UNS Pro dual stage regulator. I have an entire setup tutorial on how to get this onto your CO2 canister and how to get it working. So I'll link that down below in the description. But I love this because it's super sleek, it looks beautiful. And the amazing thing is with the customizable manifold, it can feed multiple tanks. So currently I have it feeding the CO2 into my UNS 5N, which is obviously right next to this tank. But you can keep adding manifold blocks to have it feed more tanks, which is awesome because when you got a 5-pound or a 10-pound CO2 canister, usually that goes a long way unless you have a massive tank. So with the vast majority of the equipment set up, I'm getting ready to get to the fun part, which is the hardscaping process, which is really where the creativity of aquascaping comes in. So let me know down below in the comments what type of aquascape you think I should do in this tank. I have some ideas, I've been looking for inspiration, but I would love to hear from you. So let me know down below in the comments and stay tuned for the hardscaping process, which will be the next video in this series. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Logan and I'll catch you guys and gals next time.